Thanks for tuning in. We are watching Rooster Teeth at E3, presented by Jason Bourne.
And we're talking to Jeroen. Did I get it right?
You do.
Roding?
Yeah, you got
Did I do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nailed it. We're going to be talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. So Jeroen is the community manager at Guerrilla Games. You guys have been here showing it off. This is the first time that the game has been playable for people, so that's got to be pretty exciting.
It's been super exciting, but everybody has been super positive in responding to what we had to show and what they got to play.
Yeah, so the gameplay that we're going to see here was first shown at the PlayStation press conference.
Yes.
That was so great to see. But like, how was it like actually seeing that like on the stage and seeing people's reactions to it live?
It's been a great honor to have that game being presented at the press conference. The team has been working really hard to get that game in the state that it's in right now, and creating that demo specific for E3. There's a lot of iterations going on and making sure that everything runs smoothly, but it was amazing, and the response we got from everybody there was just great.
And how long have you guys been working on this game?
So we started with the project around the end of Killzone 3. So we ended Killzone 3 development, and then that game shipped, and then the studio kind of looked at what they wanted to do next. So they had a big pitch, studio-wide pitch going out, asking people like, okay, so what do you want? What's next? What's the next step that we're going to take? And one of the pitches that came in was like, we want to have this lush, beautiful open world with mechanical robots in it, with machines in it. And that idea just stuck with everybody. And so, they started creating on that.
I think that's something that a lot of us, we grew up playing with like toys and pretending they were gigantic. Like the idea of like gigantic robotic stuff has just, that's stuck. Like that's magic, man. It's like, that's cool stuff.
And it's also the juxtaposition, right? It's the beautiful, lush nature.
Like the natural.
The natural stuff, those elements. And then the other side, you have the machines or the technology of it. But also placed in a world that's like 1,000 years in the future, where like mankind is no longer the dominant species, and machines are right now.
I mean,
yeah, it seems like it's interesting to see this world, like we talk about, 1,000 years in the future. But our protagonist, our combat seems almost like throwback as well. Like the world has devolved despite the fact it's in the future as well.
Yeah. So something happened in that world that made machines the dominant species and humans not anymore. And they kind of went to a more tribal state where they're more primitive in terms of like the way they hunt and the way they use their weapons. Like they're using a bow and arrow instead of other tools.
well, the tools decided they didn't want to work for the humans anymore.
Sorry?
All the tools decided they didn't want to work for the humans anymore.
The tools could suddenly make decisions on their own, and then we were all in trouble.
Yes.
I want to remind people who are watching right now that they can use hashtag RTE3 on Twitter, and we'll be monitoring that for any questions. We're also monitoring the stream chat right now. So the game is kind of it's built like an action RPG. Are there any more RPG elements that y'all are working on besides like weapon upgrades and ability upgrades? Is there more on store for that?
Yeah. So what we're showing right now is currently the weapons. We're showing off the weapons. We're showing off the combat, and there's a dialogue system as well. It's more so the dialogue, the way it works. It's you get more about the story, so you can get a little bit deeper if you want to go deeper. And in terms of there will be perks. Not perks, but there will be a leveling system where you can have new attributes, etc. So you'll grow as a player while you're on this adventure with Aloy, the main character.
I actually wanted to ask about the dialogue wheels. I'm glad you brought it up. When we are using the dialogue wheels in game, is there a possibility of like branching storylines, or can we have different paths?
There will be some decisions that will have consequences. What those consequences are, we cannot elaborate on right now, but there will be some more depth in that, yes.
And is this, like, for this open world, like, to what degree is the story implied and found through various adventures, around the world that you can either encounter or choose to skip, and how much of it is really driven through a narrative?
So this story revolves around our main protagonist, Aloy. She's on this quest of finding out what happened to the world, but also who she is. Who am I, and why am I an outcast is one of the things that she wants to find out. So that story is all driven through her abilities on, just wanting to know what has happened to the world.
And like on that note, having a female protagonist is. Do you guys feel that that's like risky at all? It's I love seeing it, and I love like she's such a badass.
Yeah.
But that's got to be a decision that you definitely weigh at some point in the development of what you want your protagonist to be.
So when we first set out in creating or developing Horizon, it was from the start. Aloy was a female protagonist that needed to be there. For us, it was a very logical choice, and for us it was also very fresh to do it that way. So it was never a question that Aloy was not going to be a woman.
I mean, I'm grateful for it. It's really good to see female-led games where like she's just cool, man.
Yeah,
I think Meg would say that she's cosplay bait. She's great for that, but also like just a very strong character.
Yeah.
Who, regardless of gender, happens to be kicking a lot of ass, a lot of machine ass.
And it's also cool to see non-bikini armor.
Realistic. I was
outfit.
trying not to like bash on any of their games by saying it so outright, but yes, it's nice to not see bikini armor. She looks like she might actually be protected.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
So I saw a question here on the stream on Twitter. It's at Hergelman asked, like, how do the machines alter the world? Like, if you leave the harvesters alone, will they go ahead and just clear fields without any interruption from you?
So So the machines, every machine has a role to play in that ecology. We're not going to dive into more detail. That's something we want to kind of save and reveal at a later time.
Sure.
But every robot has a role to play within this world. I mean, you've seen the shell walkers. Those are more like transport machines. They have good loot in their crates. And then you saw the broadhead, which you can override and use as a mount and travel the world that way. Mm-hmm. So within that world, every robot will have its own little role to play. And what that role is, that is something that you'll find out when playing, and we'll probably save it for a later date to talk about.
And speaking of mounts, is there a variety of different like types of mounts you can end up using?
So the way the mounts work, you need to override one of the like in this case is the broadhead. You override it. It's kind of a hacking tool, a hacking mechanism, and there are different types of machines that respond differently to hacking. So, for instance, the Watchers you see roaming around, you can hack those and they will fight for you. So you can make a little barrier of your own and try to override them and make sure that you have a new means of attack or defense in this case.
Yeah, and that's cool that, once again, that juxtaposition of the natural. You've got, bows and arrows and very primitive tools, and yet there's also the hacking of these super futuristic machines.
Yeah.
That gives you guys a lot of room to play with reality and what's possible.
Yeah. It's kind of, within that world, Aloy is a little bit special. She has a special bond with the machine. She is more intuitive and likes to figure out how stuff works.
And hence the outcast?
Yeah, she's the outcast. She's the outcast, and why she is the outcast, she wants to find out. But within that world, she has the focus device, which let her scan the machines, and then she'll find out what kind of machines are they and what are they vulnerable towards. So within that world, she has that little edge over the other tribes or other tribesmen. And in that case, she kind of finds out how everything works, but also wants to know, and she can use that ancient technology. That's what we're calling it. Mm-hmm. So Focus is ancient technology, the same as the Override is. That's nobody else uses it anymore because they don't know how to use it. But she's the only one that can.
Okay.
So I saw someone was asking, in addition to the mounts that we've seen so far, will there be any, flying or swimming mounts? Who's Ian343SCO?
That's something we cannot clarify right now.
Okay.
That's something that we want to kind of save stuff, not spoil everything for everybody.
Understandably,
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Exactly.
And I see multiple questions multiple questions that I know the answer to, so I'm going to answer it for you. Many people are asking, when the release date is, and it's February 28th, 2017. Yes. And they want to know what platform it is. It's PlayStation 4.
Are you angling for a job here, Gus? I'm just saying. It sounds like you're angling for a job. I don't blame you because that looks awesome.
We're just getting a lot of this question over and over. So I'm just going to go ahead and save them the trouble of typing those questions and just answer it outright for you.
No, that's correct. Yeah, it's correct. February 28th, release date. Pre-orders are up right now.
Sounds like I'm doing a good job.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. You can be his assistant someday.
Great.
Are you guys planning any sort of demo for people? That's something that gets asked a lot, like for people to get their hands on either at upcoming events or available online potentially?
Well, right now what we're doing here on the show floor, we have the theater, which kind of shows you the press conference trailer, but played live. So that's the one thing that we're going to do. And then after that, they can get their hands on a little sandbox we created specially for E3, where they can toy around with the mechanics a little bit and find out how stuff works, how does it play. There's some watches roaming around in there. There's a broadhead roaming around, which you can tie down and hack. So it's for those people that are on the show floor right now. They get to play a little bit with that. And we might take that code on the road and for different events. Yeah, that's a possibility.
So I just see actually a good question here on Twitter from Aaron Porter is, he says, we see some destructible environments in the fight scene with the Watcher. How destructible is the world as a whole?
There are some destructible parts that you can see in the demo or in the trailer that we showed you. How much of it is destructible, that's something that we'll also reveal at a later date.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it's good to know. I think the game is definitely one of the standouts for me. I'm super excited. I can't believe we have to wait till February, but I don't want to rush it. I want it to be as good as it can be, so we can all fully enjoy it February 28th.
When people want to get more information on this game and follow it more closely in the lead up to its launch, where would they go?
They can follow us on Twitter, the Guerrilla. It's at Guerrilla, or on Facebook, and we have a website www.guerrilla- or hyphen. Is it dash or hyphen? I don't know.
Both.
Yeah, it's both right. Guerrilla-games.com, and we have an overview of everything. And if they want more information about the game itself, it's www.horizonzerodawn.com.
Awesome. Can't wait to see more of it. We'll be following it very closely in the lead up to launch on The Know as well. So you can always subscribe to The Know, and we'll be keeping a very close eye on it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.